Watch out! Hello there. If you're speaking, I can't hear you. Try and speak now. Oh yeah, I'll have to turn the game audio down here. Yeah, now it's coming along well. Uh, it's because I had it configured in Mikita's account, not on this. Yeah, I heard the cell phone vibrating there. I can hear you. How you doing, mate? Noise. But if you could get your volume there up a bit, it would be interesting. Yeah, I hear you. Well, it's just the phone vibrating there on the background is clearer than your voice. Make that make sense. Riddle me this, Batman. Alright now. Yeah, go ahead. A little. Maybe it's my ears that need some cleaning. Oh no, I didn't want to go deaf by 30. I'm hearing you. It isn't as loud as I'd like, but I can work with it. I mean, we've been doing this way for months now. It's alright. It's alright. You want me to set up a rendezvous, or you trying to find me the hard way? Damn. What? Uh, I think you said something about if there was something going up. Yeah, yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it's on my end here, but your voice is coming very low today. Uh, I just eated a kudu from. I'll have to. It's going to keep recorded because I'm streaming on YouTube, but it was way too funny the way it flew from for some good yards there. Oh, them glitches. What the heck's? Alright, go ahead now. Oh my god.
Can you hear stuff?
Yeah, now that was deafening. Damn.
Sorry.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what was going on there. Um, for some reason, it just wasn't sending audio back. So the reason I was so quiet was because it was coming through my phone speakers to your ear instead of what I thought was my mic's microphone. I don't know
I
why
see.
it's working now. I have no idea. And it might stop working soon. And right
Uh,
now I'm routing it through the controller, so I might even have the issue where my voice lags out and stuff. But this is
yo,
what we got right now. At least it's
yo,
working.
yeah, still, I encourage you to try and keep keep using the controller there because it makes no sense, you know. Uh, I don't remember experiencing the trouble you
Other
mentioned.
people experience it all the time. They say that my voice just lags out and it becomes really staticky, and it seems like something to do with either the controller struggling to communicate with the console, which is sending my voice to you, or my Wi-Fi just being really weak, which it is just really weak in this apartment. So
I see.
I think
Yeah,
it's overload of something in terms of the signal that's being sent, but I don't have the same problem with the phone. But the problem with the phone is that my voice doesn't come through on your streams, and I can't change it. And that's really
yeah,
dumb because it's kind of a critical part of PlayStation Party voice chat. I don't know why they don't have that as an option when you dial in. But we'll see. I guess if we go like 10, 20 minutes talking without my voice lagging out, maybe it's a good sign. But you
yeah.
never know.
Never know.
I plan on upgrading to a PS5 as soon as I am able to get my hands on one. So maybe that would help with the hardware just not being so old. Or maybe it would just show that the issue is with the internet, um, which
Yeah,
is also something.
y'all still having problem with scalpers and things like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Damn.
It's PlayStation 5s sell out before you can even click on it when they get in stock. They're still really, really bad. Unless I want to spend like $900 on one from a scalper. That's the only way to do it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Talk about talk about first road country problems.
Yeah. It kind of sucks because it happens with every console like right around launch, but it's been it's been half a year almost since the PS5 launched. Like
Yeah,
let's stop scalping and being assholes, please. Okay, let's
please.
just can I buy a damn console at MSRP? Please. Because I'm not giving a scalper a cent more. I'm not doing it. I'm going to
Nice.
pay $499 USD, and that is it. I'm not giving criminals money. Fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, put your money where your mouth is. I think
Oh, I
that's
will.
the saying, right?
Yeah. Yep. Another desperate people. Then I'm going to relegate my PlayStation 4 to being my streaming service device that I'll just hook up to the TV and watch Netflix on in the bedroom or something. That would
Yeah,
be
this is the untimely fate my PS3 has met.
it. At least it's still being used.
Yeah, and I mean, I have some games there that because you see the North American PSN, it has more features when it comes to the catalog available. So there are some
Hmm.
games of um, PS2 on PS4, you know, that they are only available in PS3 on the PS3 when it comes to the Brazilian PSN. So it's still important to have my PS3, you know, in order to play some vintage games that I'm really
Yep.
fond of. But
Me too.
being
Yeah.
playing just Conan for now, I mean it's just there, you know. So now that my parents have a TV on their bedroom, I booted the PS3 there, and they can get to watch their Netflix things over there.
Yeah, works for everybody involved, I guess.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm playing on big game time for Yusuf and Hilden now, which is novel.
Hmm. Hmm. Where, oh, where might Talitha be? I wonder. You've got to be somewhere in the desert, right? At least tell me you're in the sands.
Yeah, I'm playing uh I'm playing two characters now, like on the to the bitter end of it, like Spider-Man and Peter Parker, you know. Right now I am Peter Parker, which
What do you
is
mean?
Eve.
Oh, I thought they had blended together.
Yeah, they have, but since Talitha doesn't know who to trust and if there is more things to go her way, she's keeping the Talitha hidden from others.
Hmm.
So she's like, Eve?
I noticed that you still go by Eve and you don't tell people because you're being smart because canons talk about Lemurian spies and stuff is kind of in your head,
Yeah,
which I think is smart. So it's almost like Eve is your fake persona now, the same way that Arbanus is canons.
yeah. Only Fei
Sneak
Wong
choice.
knows the truth
Right,
because
because
of
I
the
told
note.
Faye. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. Hmm. I have some unfortunate storyline news.
Uh, Roll it.
We're going to have to rewrite a good amount of things because we're going to be without Pryor for the next few months. She's having some pretty major internet issues with whatever situation her house is at. So she's effectively going to be uh, gone, poof, without a trace. So
Yeah.
some pretty big things have to get rewritten because we're not going to have a lot of Tristan as a character at all. Actually,
Yeah, that's a shame.
it is. Fortunately, we have something of a plan set up for that. It's just the reason that things have been so delayed since the 2.1 got released is trying to work that out and being unable to.
Yeah, I mean, I see no trouble uh having things seemingly okay right now. Um, I mean, it makes for that peace before the storm, you know?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what these last couple of weeks have been, and it's going to end very quickly.
Oh,
Hilden and I have too many plans. I mean, honestly, not to say that Pryor's been holding us back, but the reason we haven't done anything is because we had plans to do with Pryor and with you in terms of some stuff with 2.2 that now just can't really happen because we don't have Pryor. So now we have the free reign to just go make other plans and
yeah,
go with
so
that. So
there
there's really
was
no hold on our ability to do that now.
there was the side quest of redeeming Tristan, but now
There was a
there
major one. She was going to be tasked with coming back and killing the prisoner that was left behind, and it was going to be a pretty big opportunity for roleplay with Talitha, and yes, the opportunity to save Tristan effectively. Um, but
yeah, for you
oh
to
god,
have spoil for you to have disclosed this to me,
it's not going to
it's gone
happen.
to waste now, yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, it was going to be a major one because there were going to be key roles depending on how you played Talitha, and I wasn't going to give you a heads up because I knew you would understand kind of what was happening as soon as it started happening. But there would be key roles depending on whatever that would affect her and her ability to start to see through the Stockholm syndrome she had with Dardik, and you know how the village could really be her home, and maybe it's just something that she. There could have been literally you could have turned her against the Lemurians that exact moment, depending on how well it went and how the rolls went. But and
Yeah,
it would have been really nice in the wars to come having basically a
an insider.
yeah, someone with as much inside knowledge. Now the only person you have with that with at least a comparable degree of inside knowledge is the assassin, and he'll still play a big role, obviously, because he has to. But it might be a little bit of a bigger one without an Erica.
Yeah.
I guess there's still a possibility we could recast her. I don't think that that would work because we don't have anybody in mind. Hilden and I are still in the process of deliberating our exact plan, but yeah, I don't think that would
But
happen.
it's alright. I mean, either way, I'm having fun no matter what.
Yeah, it'll still be good. Her character is probably the least. It's the most. I think she's the most interesting character of uh, probably the main three that we cooked up for the storyline. But she was also the easiest to write out. I already kind of have a. It doesn't change anything major about the storyline to have her gone. She was just a really interesting cog in the machine that I liked a lot. In terms of kind of having a Zuko uh, line in her storytelling, but
Now
alas.
you have to begin to ask the important questions.
Who are you? And what do you want?
Ah, it's so good to be familiar with them references.
Yes, I see you too are a man of refined taste. Okay, I've explored this half of the jungle, or the desert. Now I go to the other half to find my bitch.
And there she was, on the carpenter's bench of the settlement, crafting her some arrows.
Fuck you. You wouldn't dare. You wouldn't. You're lying. That's not where you are. Well, you're back at the village. I don't believe it. He wouldn't do that to me. Miriella, where's my bitch?
If you're at Muriela, do a dice roll there, and I can give
Would
you a
she
heads
know where
up.
you are?
Well, Mitra tells her everything,
Hmm. Okay, I'll do a dice roll. Oh, I gotta kill the scorpion first. Ah.
and send a pic that proves you're there.
Oh, you don't believe that I'm here?
Well, you didn't believe I was at the settlement, and I sent a pic in Tails 1.
Oh, I didn't see you sent a pic.
Oh, didn't that it sent so.
I didn't look at my phone. And there it is. Dice do you want?
D10?
Cool.
Vanilla.
Hell yeah. Ha ha! Yeah.
Alright, so as you asks about where Talitha is, Muriela says that she knows you've been after her for quite a while now. If only you had asked her in the first place. Right now, she's using uh, the installations of the settlement in order to grant her a steady provision of arrows. And if you don't find her there, you could find her in a pond close to the savannah. It's a place surrounded by hyenas and quite unwelcoming one, but she saw it fit as a place that wouldn't attract much attention.
Uh, Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much spilled all the beans there. My God,
Well, that's what I
Briella.
expect out of a 10. She's giving me
Yeah.
all that gossip. Mitra, guide you, or whatever. Bye bye.
May the enlightened shine light over your steps. By the way, do you
Yeah.
know from which game did I took this from?
I don't.
Have you played Greedfall?
No, never have.
But did you get it on your library? It went free like
Mm,
2 months ago.
don't think I did.
You
They
don't?
usually add the free games, but maybe I didn't grab that one.
Ah, okay. Nah, but I mean, yeah, yeah, I would judge you if you didn't get the free games. But regardless, there is
I always do.
this, yeah,
Maybe not always, apparently, but
yeah,
usually I always do.
but there is this uh, religion there in the game that is all about light, and the sun, and the prophet is called San Mateo and things like that. But you get this priest in your party, and as he joins the fight, he always shouts, "May the enlightened protect me in this battle." And when he bids you farewell, he always goes, "May the enlightened always guide your steps," and stuff like that. And I was like, well, Mitra is all about that energy, so I might as well
Yeah,
add it to the game.
sure.
It's a nice game. Uh, it was an awesome RPG experience uh, in a single player campaign. Kind of like what Mass Effect used to be.
Rip.
That
I will remember you.
that being said, I haven't played Mass Effect yet. It's just that,
You haven't? Oh, it's a great game.
yeah,
Great series of games. Just don't play Andromeda and you'll be fine.
yeah,
Get the Legendary Edition. It's coming out in like a week or
yeah, I'm,
two.
I'm waiting for it to get
Should be
everything.
sick. Because
Uh,
Mass Effect 1 is a great story, but the game sucks because it's old. But since they're remodeling it a little bit and making it better, maybe it'll actually be playable. The gameplay is just a slog. It's honestly not a fun game. It's just like if you really like the story, you play 1, and then 2 and 3 are actually really good games with that same really good story. So it's like, alright.
yeah, I
You
get
take
it.
your lumps through Mass Effect 1, and then 2 and 3 are like where it pays off. But maybe if Mass Effect 1 is actually fun after the Legendary Edition, the whole thing will be all that much better. You never
You
know.
see, I have no trouble playing these old games. The thing is, I must play the first game that was released before all the others.
Of
Otherwise, I get
course.
spoiled. Uh,
Yeah.
it's what I did with Metal Gear. Metal Gear 5 went free on PSN, and I was like, damn, it's about damn time I play Metal Gear because everyone says it's this
It's
amazing game
iconic.
and uh, very rich storyline. So I went to the PS1 first, Metal Gear Solid, and I it took a toll on me. You know, the first boss it took me like half an hour to beat, and I was like, yo, there's no way this game is broken. How did the ancestors beat this and actually speedrun it? And I'm so glad
Yeah.
I did in the release order because Metal Gear 5 plays so well and so
Mm.
intuitively that I can barely play the first one now with
Yeah,
all the mechanics I
exactly. You
yeah.
could never go back. Yep. Yeah, Mass Effect 1 is not a great game by itself. It just isn't. It's a really fun storyline. It does a great job of world building, just enough, not too much. It sets the stage, and then, it's really unique because in Dragon Age you have a different protagonist every single game, but Mass Effect is the same one. I mean, you can make it a different one theoretically, but they're still the same person, and you should try to play through all the same world state. So it's got a different amount of longevity to your character. Dragon Age does a really good job of building up the world, but your character is always secondary. Shepard in Mass Effect is the story. Like the world kind of revolves around him instead of the other way. So it's different. It's more unique.
Yeah.
And then they just shit Andromeda into our hands for $60 and called it good.
Uh yeah. I mean, uh it it was under EA, wasn't it? Andromeda. No,
It was
Activision.
still So EA owns BioWare, so everything that
Yeah.
BioWare puts out is technically under EA.
Yeah.
But there's always a so yes, BioWare made it, but there's always like you can always say like, oh, it's EA's fault because they said this about the timeline. Like you only have 2 years to make this game, which they did, and that's why Andromeda sucked. But you never, I mean, it's kind of on everyone's hands, I guess. But yes, that's what you always hear in the whispers is it's EA's fault. And usually they're right.
Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to blame them. Uh
No, never. They're
I mean,
usually the boogeyman behind everything.
yeah.
Fucking EA.
I think they botched Anthem as well.
Of
It's a
course.
dead game now. Like, and it was
Terrible.
a nice premise, you know. That,
Great premise. The first trailer for that was like, wow, this is going to be the best game ever. But you know that EA is going to fuck it up with all sorts of shit. And yeah, it released and it was like a fourth of the game. It wasn't even close to being done. It's like, Jesus. This is nothing like what was advertised. This is.
yeah, but I'm in no better place to judge because I simped hard for Cyberpunk 2077, and well,
Cyberpunk will
look
be a
at me
good game.
now.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I have a feeling that Cyberpunk will be okay. It just launched a little rough on console because they rushed it, like they
A
always do.
little.
But it still seems like it has the potential to be a pretty good game on console at some point.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
1 year and a half down the line. The thing is, plenty of people uh, disregard it as a regular game based on the story itself, you know. Like all the problems while running. Uh, if the game ran well, it still would be a regular game, you know, like a 6 or
Yeah,
a 7 out of 10. It isn't that promising thing that they promised. Uh, that promising thing, that awesome thing that they promised. But still, I mean, I'm a sucker for um, sci-fi, you know, and
I like
cyberpunk as a
sci-fi
genre.
games. I think I'm a bigger fan of Dragon Age at the moment, but between Dragon Age and Mass Effect, when I played Mass Effect, I loved it way more than I love Dragon Age. But it's just that Dragon Age has a clearer future as a franchise, with Dragon Age 4 being in production and Mass Effect kind of being in the shitter since Andromeda sucked. It's kind of like, well, those are my two favorite game franchises ever, and they're completely the opposite of each other. But I think I enjoyed playing the Mass Effect franchise more. It was just, oh, um, Talitha.
Uh, Hello, Canon.
Uh, it's been a long time. I was wondering where you've been off to.
Um, yeah, uh, I've been to the settlement a couple of days ago, and some people have been telling about you looking after me. Is everything alright?
Oh, yes, everything's fine. I just uh, was worried about where you might have gone off to. Hadn't heard much, and then, well, Muriel told me to keep an eye on you, and the next thing I know, you're off somewhere north with a bunch of tents.
Uh, yeah, you see, as as soon as I got a better glimpse of who I am, um, I tried to do my best right away to uh, respect the pride of our people, especially the
Mm,
pride of Swahili. I'm
mm,
still have some things back at Tristan's place, but I've been going on some rare errands in the desert
mm.
lately. Yeah.
How trust you've been in bed, but has he said much of anything to you?
Can you repeat that? The first time that your
How,
mic did the thing.
yeah, how has the prisoner been faring? I trust you've been keeping him fed, but has he said anything?
No, and none of the shield maidens speak to me as well. He's doing fine. I mean, as fine as someone who's been in prison for so long can be,
Mm,
but yeah, he's still there.
mm, mm. I believe, oh, you know my goal of bringing Dardik's Lemurian forces to an end being my main goal now, and I trust that it is at the very top of your list as well. I wonder if it isn't time for us to mm, renew our efforts to get more information out of that man. He's been sitting there a long time, just stewing, marinating, and well, what that Dexarius apparently told the villagers was that his story about being a Black Hand was a lie, and that he was a Lemurian. And well, if his cover is blown, perhaps he might be inclined to share more information.
I see. You plan to do it now?
No, not now. I think it might be wise to involve more of the others that were um, a little bit more involved in this. I hesitate to get too involved in the affairs of this village. It's not my home the way that Sentinel's Watch once was. Nonetheless, though, I'm not simply going to let the Lemurians defeat it, but I don't want to take the fight away from the people who are supposed to defend this place. I know
Uh,
that Tarlo, the Pictish man, was very instrumental in watching over Prior when she was wounded, and he was also one of the first to interrogate the man. It might be wise to let him be a part of whatever questioning is to come. Um, that, and of course, I would be willing to help out as well. But like I said, he is not my prisoner, nor is this particular fight mine. But I will help where I can. It's just that, well, most of these people don't really even know who I am. I don't know if they would like my help even if I offered it, but I'm certainly going to try. It's just a tricky line for me to walk.
I see you're still trying to keep your cover, but why wouldn't people try and use your help for a while? I mean,
Hmm.
you're
Well,
quite a
I have
resourceful
been,
one.
yes, but I have been lying to them for months now about who I really am, and they've already had a number of bad experiences with um, uh, liars and deceivers, Lemurian spies. Who is to tell them otherwise that I might not be one myself, or who's to say that they might not be one themselves and report on my being here to Dardik and bring this village into even more of his crosshairs than it already is in. There's a lot of risk that goes along with that.
Yeah, speaking of,
Until until this village's fight is my fight, I don't see that my revealing myself has any benefits for either side, only potential downfall.
speaking of which, I've been living as Eve since that encounter we had with the priestess. Only
Well,
Fei Wong,
yes,
the Kitanian, knows about who I am. I believe the old man left a note with her that
yes.
disclosed all of the information.
She showed me the note. I told her about your predicament shortly before I brought you to Mariella. So yes, as far as I know, she's the only other person here that knows who you truly are. Even Pryor does not know, to the best of my knowledge. She hasn't been around for a long time still. Um,
Yeah, I
but
miss her.
certainly I would tell her when she comes home. She would bear no danger, but well,
Yeah,
she might be in for a bit of a shock with her arena gone, but there's still plenty of fight left to be had in her and in us.
yeah, sure. Well, there's no tavern for us to share a
Hmm.
drink, but uh,
No,
what do you
it
plan
seems
on
to have been
doing now?
replaced with something like this. Hmm. Well, I worry about the Lemurians at present. I've been thinking about some way to get more information on what their current plans are, especially ever since we chased Tristan out of town. I wonder why they have been so quiet, what their plans are. I told Eve, I don't know if I've told you, but there was, or I don't know what you remember, but there was a time a couple of years ago when I managed to sneak into their keep for a few hours. I took out one of their archer patrolmen, uh, took his armor, and snuck inside after listening in for quite a time. Their security is much, much improved from when you and the other Sentinels Watch villagers came and rescued me, and because of that, I was only able to be there for a few hours. I at least picked up a thing or two about their current security, at least what it was then. I don't know, they could have made even more updates, but the temptation has been there for me to attempt something similar, if even just to try to figure out what their plans are. But before I make such a hasty move, I would like to know what would be possible to get out of that prisoner. But that is what is on my mind at present. I've noticed that the Lemurians, over the last few weeks and months, have been growing in boldness, I would say. They seem to be quite a bit more prominent throughout the jungle. For the past few years, they've been so hidden, so reclusive, so strategic. Now it seems they are emboldened by what? I'm not sure. Or what they plan to do next, I'm not sure. But I'm sure that it's not good. And,
Uh,
well, the more that I know, the more that we can prepare.
isn't the timing strange? I mean, after Tristan's revelation, for him to be mm, emboldened, as you say.
Mm.
I
The
vaguely
timing is
remember
strange.
uh, some panthers and guards
Yes.
staying over a keep of sorts. But, well, do you mean they have strengthened themselves in the meantime?
Mm. Yes. To some degree. I check in on them very often. Most people don't know, but my main refuge when I'm not staying at my tent here in the village, I am at a safe house in the jungle near, well, near to, but not too near to um, their jungle tree base hideout location. So I check in on them as often as I can just to keep my marks. And yes, the past few weeks there have been more defenses put up, more soldiers out and about, more panthers. They have one of the things I learned when I was uh, behind enemy lines there was that they have some Hyrcanian prisoner that they forced to train cats for them. I know he has trained for them a number of panthers as well as some other things that they use as bait in the jungles beneath for those that wander too close that may think they're just random wildlife. It is actually a way for them to track who has been close to the jungle. If their spies or their scouts don't see, the panthers will either die and leave a trail, or they will be able to kill or ward off the invaders. It's a very interesting tactic. It's almost like setting traps without there actually being any traps. The traps know how to run and bite you.
Yeah, well, to have a Hyrcanian doing so is new to me, but indeed, that is something just a cunning people like them would be able to pull off.
Mm.
Um, yeah,
And what worries me more than anything else is the more time that I've spent thinking about what happened to Sentinels watching to us, the more I try to understand the mind of Dardik and what his plans are. And my lines of thinking were if I were him and I had sent this spy to this village, why would I have done so? It would likely have been to assess their strength, to determine if they were useful enough and controllable enough to seize control, maybe implant this Tristan as the leader of the village and make them unwitting servants to the Lemurian cause, or if they were too strong and too smart enough to be deemed dangerous enough to be considered an enemy, the exact same way that Sentinel's Watch was. After discovering that these people had found out that Tristan was a spy and sent her back to the Lemurians, I feel like the latter option is much more likely if we are to anticipate what Dardik will do, and yet no sign of him has yet been found. At least to my knowledge, the village is untouched. And so I wonder what he's planning, what he's waiting for, what his intent is, but I am sure that it's not good for this place. But there's just too many unknowns for me to try to make a move to counter whatever he plans.
I see. Yeah, things seem, yeah, rather quiet over here. Despite the demolition of the tavern and the arena, I don't know uh, why, but yeah, uh, I know this feeling all too well. Uh, and, well, I have. This is difficult for me. You see, I have no real attachments to anyone in this settlement. The one my former self used to like is now supposedly with the enemy, but um,
I
it's
heard
still
tell
hard
of
to. What?
Dexarius before he died apparently called her the consort to Derdick. And when I was behind enemy lines, I did hear tales of such a person, but I never actually saw her. And so, even if this was the truth, I can't outright confirm that. I do know that there was a consort to the king. Whether that was her or not, I can't be sure, but he didn't make the whole thing up, that's for sure. Her name was Erica, not Tristan, but of course any spy worth their weight in gold would be not using their real name, of course. But it seems like there's, if I were to take a guess, he probably told the truth about her at least.
No, no, he was lying.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
No signs indicate that he
uh,
was.
sorry, uh, it's,
Are you all right?
I am. It's just that sometimes, uh, yeah, she takes a hold of me and speaks in my place. But
Mm.
yeah, as I was saying, it's still hard for me to cope with the loss of all those we've met, um, all those
Yes.
who saved me from a painful and gruesome path to revenge. So I'm, as I said, it's difficult. I'm trying my best not to devote myself to revenge again, but to have them free, exerting their power in the exiled lands uh, wouldn't be wise either.
No. It is a fight that I struggle with every day as well. Of course, there is a dark part of me that wants to see them all dead, and that is what mostly drives me, but there are many days when I just want to make like Dazaria and leave this place. And let the fight be over. I don't know that the fight will ever be over. Not with how strong they are and how few we are, but at the same time, I can't just leave them to roam free. Something has to be done, and there are only so many people that can do anything. But yes, it certainly beckons at the darkest parts of me.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find as much joy as possible living in the exiled lands. It's something I foolishly promised my parents when they came to me in a vision. I believe when Birkinius was taking care of me. Um, you see, I have nothing to go after leaving this place. But yeah, life in this place isn't uh, the sea of roses one would expect or wish to have.
Right.
It's just difficult. Yeah.
Yes. There aren't many people here that I know very well in this village. There was both Tristan and Eve, who I trusted based on their actions, but you two have taken rather different forms in the weeks since. Um, naturally, I trust you plenty, but Tarlo, he has my trust, I think. He watched over Prior while she was downed, um, and he knows my true name, the only other person who does, as he caught me in something of a lie when I had to help her. But I've heard tales that the blacksmith in this land, Makita, is rather honorable, so I would trust him, perhaps, in a fight. But there are not a great deal many others like you. I don't have any tremendous attachment to this place, but yet still, I just don't feel like I can sit idly by and watch what happened to Sentinel's Watch happen here. Not if there's even a small chance that we could prevent it.
Let's see. About this blacksmith, he charged me 2 bronze coins just to attach a fitting to my bow. Oh, speaking of which, here, take a look. Um, I did some um, enhancements to the bow I bought from you.
Hmm. Ah, it's quite nice.
Yeah, and it stings like a damned snake.
I found something of a new weapon myself while I was out and about. Hildan told me that I should seek to name it, but I'm not quite sure what to name such a strange yet bloody blade. I've been thinking about it for a little while now.
Oh my. Yeah, yeah,
It's strange, you
that's.
can't actually clean it. The blood is, well, I'm sure you can recognize it. It's black ice by make, yet the blood is not really on the surface. It's almost stained throughout the entire, to the base of the glass. An odd weapon. I don't really know what it is. I found it in a crate in the highlands up into the north while I was gathering some furs for Hildan to make me more war paint. And there was a note there that mentioned that it was some item of terrible power from a faraway land, and there were pros and cons to wielding it or something. But that's really all I know about it. It's a strange weapon.
Hmm. What would an item of a faraway land do here?
I'm really not sure. I haven't heard much of anything. Well, actually, Hildan did mention that he'd found one of his own, and then he pulled out some strange claws that he had attached to his hands. Well, that's the only other instance I've heard of it. Perhaps there are more scattered about. It seems to be that this wasn't the only one, at the very least. But I'm
Hmm.
not really sure how they got here or why, or where they're even from. The note didn't say. It just said a faraway land.
Yeah, I wonder if I could actually meet somewhere else while confined in these lands. It would be quite the adventure.
Hmm. What always gets me sometimes is it is easy to wrap your mind around the fact that we can't leave this place. It's a very clear rule with our bracelets and whatnot. But what gets me is the fact that anyone on the outside world can enter and leave freely as they might. You never know what strange forces could be dabbling around this place. Of course, it is dangerous. I mean, to enter here is a dangerous place, and to die in here without a bracelet is to die anywhere else. But certainly, I'm sure it happens. I assume this is largely what happened with these weapons. The only question is why. That's what keeps you up at night.
Yeah, you're still fond of dramatic questions, I see. Well,
Hmm. Well, 5 years by yourself gives you not much else but time to think.
and then comes the Shemite philosopher. Well, Canon, if you don't have anything in mind, I believe I could use your help for a little something that I need.
Oh,
Could you help me take these to my camp?
oh, working up quite a lot of arrows.
Well, you've yet to see half of it.
Oh, truly. Sure, I can load these up onto my saddlebags here. And I'm sure Champion would be more than happy to take some of the burden from a lady.
Oh, I appreciate it. And what's his name?
Champion. He took it by virtue sometime after I recruited him. Something about how he wants his own deeds to define him rather than anything that happened before he was retrained. Um, Strange, but something about Sumerian honor. I don't really understand it. They're strange people. But he doesn't want people to define him by his old name. He wants to make a new one, so he is just champion.
Alright. An overdramatic fellow for. Yeah,
I don't know why champion. If he's so obsessed with his virtue and his honor, he could have gone by honor or something else equally as silly. But I'm not him. I suppose he can do what he wants. One thing you can't deny, though, he has a hell of a swing. He's badass.
I would say naming himself honor or any other virtue would be equally overdramatic, but well, what
At
do
least it
I
would make a
know?
little bit more sense. What is champion? That's just a fighter. Has nothing to do with your honor. I'd rather he just use his old name, but for some reason he just doesn't seem very fond of it.
I, for one, am glad I got to remember my name.
I am too. Though I had to put in a lot of work to help you do so.
My, there's
And
an
I'm the
elevator.
overdramatic one. There is. I noticed it when I was coming down south. I don't know if it would really save us any time to head up it, but we could if you like.
Um, no, I've never been to that place. No, actually I did. It just didn't have the elevator, but it's faster this way. Um,
Indeed.
you see, I went on a errand around the desert, just as I did the day after you expelled me from your house 5 years ago. And well, I remember most of the things as clearly as I did before. I mean, getting to know the desert again like the palm of my hand.
Hmm. It is a wondrous place. Uh, I'm at least thankful that this place is compromised so much of the sands that we used to call home. There's just so much to explore. Yes, there's not so much that you could ever really get lost, but at least there's always some place you can go to feel like you are the only person within a mile around, just like back in Shem.
Hmm. Says the urbanite.
Well,
Uh,
like I said, I've been on patrols out into the sands before, and I didn't always spend time in the city. There were things to do out and about. There are plenty of nights that I navigated the dunes and slept in caves.
hmm. But the western desert pales in comparison to the eastern one. Trust me.
Hmm, I would not know that.
Ha! I mean, the sight of the dunes of Karamun is something remarkable.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Well,
Zoahir.
perhaps one day when our fight is done, you could show them to me.
I'll keep that in mind. Oh, I'll just refill my water skin here with some fresh water. You see,
Uh,
I dwelling close to a pond, but it's quite a forsaken place. Um,
ah,
well, the only reason I settled down there is because it's so dead the way it is that I don't believe people would suspect someone would be living there.
ah. Well, makes sense why I didn't find you then. Probably didn't think to look there.
Oh, I see it's looking like a charm then.
Well, if I can't find you, probably speaks well of your chances to stay hidden.
The funny thing is, it isn't that hidden. Well, I can uh, set up camps that are best hidden than this one. Uh, well, let's say that I hid it in plain sight. It's just that it's so eerie and surrounded by hyenas that, well, people don't
Hmm.
often come by. Here we are.
I certainly don't come by this area very often. I don't like all of the wild cats that make their home nearby. Reminds me of the jungle, unfortunately.
Yeah, but as long as you stay on this side of the pond, the hyenas over there, or the tigers and other beasts on the other
Cannon
side.
hands over the bundle of arrows.
How many did you place?
200.
Okay, I only see 100. Take them back, please.
Pick them back up. I'll place them in the campfire.
Alrighty. I can't see them now, but they are there. I know it. Well, I know it isn't much, but here, have something.
Hmm?
I'll place it in the campfire as well.
Oh, some meat. I appreciate that.
Oh, and I don't believe you want to get yourself more tanned there. Here, take up some.
I don't tan too easy, but sure.
Well, in this condition that I find myself, it's rather tricky to stay up here. Oh, speaking of which, now that I am at the comfort of home, I can release you as well, buddy, and
Uh,
dress
Champion,
myself in
don't look
proper
so on
clothing.
edge. Put your mace away. Calm
Now,
down a
if
bit.
you would look the other way, please.
Oh, I already am. Allowed to turn around?
Oh, sure.
Great. Ah, a nice change of attire.
Uh, yeah. Uh, you see, I'm trying to keep the guys off Eve when I go down to River's Edge. Uh, that saddle, well, it doesn't make any sense for someone traveling uh, the desert without a destiny in mind, you know. Um, Saddles like that are only meant for times of war. Uh, yeah, I mean, I hope that when I put my turban and with my stallion there wearing another saddle, people wouldn't recognize me so easily. Uh,
That's usually the plan that I undergo as well.
yeah.
It only works so often. I tend to wear it more than I should around people that know me, I think, but it's more of a comfort thing.
Yeah, it's still strange to see my hair so white with
It
the
really is.
with the outfit here, but Um, I mean,
Well, it's
it
a good
is
thing
what
that
it
you're
is.
staying in the sun as much as you are. Perhaps it'll start to look more like it did.
I don't think that's the case. You see, I've been around here for quite some time now, and I've yet to see any differences. Um, I don't know what's making me look like this. Mm, Actually, I have no idea what happened to me so I could be in this state to begin with. Uh, I I still hope it changes soon. It's just rather strange to look myself in the still water.
Hmm. Oh, it's the for another day, I think.
Can you repeat it? Repeat it
Oh,
again, please.
yeah.
It's doing all right. I mean, don't change to the cell phone. Maybe it's something on the cable there. Yeah, he's still not listening. Damn.
Oh,
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
oh.
Hello? Um, I think you said shit there.
Yeah. Oh,
I can hear you.
I know. It's like a brief moment where I'm not lagging all over the place. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's totally the headset because I literally unplugged the headset from my controller for a second to see if I would stop glitching, and I did. And then I plugged it back in and I started again. So it's definitely something wrong with the controller trying to communicate with the console. But right now it looks like it's working.
Yeah.
My God, that was terrible. Like I would move my joystick slightly to the left and I would just pan around for like 720 degrees.
If you
Like I had
can
no
use
control.
an air hose or something and blow out the port you plug your headphones into.
Hmm.
Sometimes sand or dust can get in there and it really messes with the connection.
Well,
Yo,
could
you
be.
creep, you were here all along?
He just joined.
I've been watching.
He's been here for like
Damn.
a minute.
This loading screen.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
What I said was, you said you're not sure what's causing your appearance to be this way, and Cannon said, I think I have an idea, but I don't think there's much we can do about it, at least not today.
um, well, an idea is still an idea.
It's something Muriela told me about whatever's going on with you and with the recollections of Eve or whatever that is. But for your own safety, I think it's best that we don't address it until we are ready to completely address it. It would likely probably just do more harm than good, but we will.
Yeah, I hope so. And more harm than good. Yeah, it's not good at all. Um, yeah, I still wonder what happened in these 5 years that you said went by. Um,
Mhm.
I
I'm
tried
not
my
sure what
best
happened to you.
to. to think about it, but yeah, it's nothing comes to mind. Hilden, however, he has quite a remarkable library at his place, and there were some excerpts about this nameless city filled with relics. Um, I vaguely remember Eve mentioning she knew she was a relic hunter, and I don't remember being a relic hunter before the fall
It's
of
one of the only
Sentinel's
leads
Watch.
that I have about the last 5 years as well. Something connecting you with the relic hunters, but it's not exactly the easiest group to talk to if you need information. But that too is pretty much all that I know. I suspect that at some point along those lines you must have connected with them for some reason, though apparently it didn't last very long.
See, yeah, I was thinking about going to that city. I believe it's the one surrounded by the giant black wall, isn't it?
Yes, the nameless one. Well, I would be careful there. It is filled with a lot of dark magic, undead, necromantic powers, things like that. It's not the safest place to be, but I'm assuming if you bring that big turtle with you, you'll probably have decent luck.
Uh, well, King there is an awesome companion, but well, knowing the state I found myself in, I actually thought it would be better to have uh, a more rational companion going there, maybe
Ah,
a party. Um, you see, I'm not at the best of my shape at the moment, so I haven't paid a visit there yet. Uh, but as I said, an idea is still an idea.
indeed. Yeah, indeed it is. Well, if you ever need help getting in there, I know the place rather well, and I dare say that I'm rather good at defending myself. I'd be more than willing to help.
Hmm, good at defending yourself. I believe the folks who went to get you in that Lemurian keep would say otherwise. She giggles.
I don't think you understand how easy it is for one man to defeat an entire army inside of their castle. I don't know what you could have expected from me. I made them work for it, if that helps. And did you ever attend any of my arenas back when Sentinel's Watch was up? I understand if you didn't. I don't recall that you did. I don't know. I think you did maybe once or twice, but it wasn't the most welcoming place for you, I'll admit.
I wonder why. But yeah, I went to one event, but just as a spectator. I was still
Hmm.
fresh from the lands and from the desert, and yeah,
And do you
still,
remember what happened at that event?
I believe it was a fight between pairs, um, and
Oh,
it,
is that the time when I beat both Calyx and Ash single-handedly?
um, actually, I remember one mighty fellow defeating. Uh, he was this tall guy. He had braids. I actually hope to meet him in order to get some lessons. Ah, and yeah, you were fighting alongside him as well.
Hmm. Yes, he benefited greatly from my company, I think.
Oh, you can get a hold of yourself, can you? But, well,
Well, I fought in a great many of those competitions, and they're wasn't really anybody that could defeat me. It's just a statement of fact. It's not really an ego thing. Though I'll admit I'm probably not the toughest person in all of the exiled lands, but I'm amongst them. I mean, look at Fei Wong. We've fought 3 times now, and she's beaten me twice, but every fight has been rather close. She's certainly at my level, if not above it, albeit slightly. But I don't reckon there are too many other than a handful that I would really be overly scared of in a fight.
My oh my, the sun went down, but your your pride has really shined up. Ah,
Well, it's one thing to have pride that is unfounded, and it's another thing to know your own capabilities. If I were to lose more of my fights, I don't think I would be nearly as boastful. Yet here I stand. There's a reason
mhm.
I'm alive after all this time, though maybe that's because I have friends in the right places.
Yeah, I believe that's the case. Hmm. It's still uh, hurts me to remember the. Hmm, forget it. But well, thank goodness you had friends to get your back there in that cursed keep. Uh, yeah, I still wish I could see their faces again.
Hmm.
Well, you've mentioned about Prior. Have you met any others?
No, just you two. That's it. Though meeting the two of you in such quick succession makes me wonder if there might not be some of the others still around out there somewhere and hiding like we were or otherwise, but I don't really know the chances. It's honestly, I thought I was alone for so many years. Now I'm not, and yet perhaps the three of us are all that remain. Perhaps there's a handful more that are perhaps hidden. You never know. Perhaps Athena is out in the north with her family, still somehow making a living, or some of the others are hiding in a cave here, or they've escaped their exile, freed themselves from the bracelet, and gone on to accomplish other things, or perhaps they're all dead. I don't really know what to expect.
Hmm,
But no, all that I know for certain is that it's the three of us.
yeah, well, quite a blunt perspective there. But being since it's been 5 years,
I've had a lot
it
of
makes
time to get over
sense.
it.
No, but it makes sense that um, few of us are left. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
these lands are quite large, but I believe 5 years would be enough time to meet up with uh, whoever have survived. It's a
Indeed.
shame. Well,
Well, our talking has taken us rather into the night. Oh,
it sure did.
and look what we have here. Seems Champion is taking something of a bath. How?
Uh, yeah, I wouldn't encourage taking a bath at this pond specifically, but well,
Oh, Sumerians don't have a lot of fear, or he whispers common sense.
I see. Well, he certainly seems to be enjoying himself there. I won't take that from him anytime.
Hmm. Yes, he's a free spirit, to say the least. Um, well, suppose I had better start my trek back down south, likely to my tent.
Yeah, well, I hope I can get to see your place in the future, or not, if it's Oh, actually, it isn't that safe to know our true hideouts. But you see, I really needed someone to help me with those arrows. I digress. Yeah,
Hmm. That's the good thing about being a nomad, right? You can always just move on to another spot.
hmm, yeah. I mean, it isn't for nothing that our people cherished
Put on your
the pride
clothes, you
of
dork.
the patriarch so much.
No, it's not for nothing. Okay. Well, I shouldn't waste too much time. I should be off.
All right, are you well fed? Do you have enough food to make the travel?
Oh, I have plenty. You fret too much. You don't need to worry.
Okay, uh, glad to hear it. So, yeah, until we meet again, Canon
Ah,
of
be
Karaja.
well. Nature guide your steps.
Um, yours as well. Damn, that's a that's a vibe there. Damn, look at this peak that I'm going to take. Oh, nice. Lovely.
What the fuck? I rounded the corner to go down into the place where the big crocodile is, and he's literally walking up the path towards me, like way far from his spawn point. Whew, that was scary.
Oh, yeah, about my place, you have to go on the side skirts in order not to uh
Well, I know, but he wasn't. I didn't even get to him yet. Like he had started walking all the way. Like he was up towards where your camp was. He was not in his usual lingering spot. He was far from his pond, and he was just walking up
yeah, it's
like he was on a
because
patrol or some bullshit.
I believe on our way up, we actually went way too close to
Um,
the sun there.
I don't give a fuck. He's a weak little bitch. He can't do shit. Champ would make him eat his own asshole.
Well, if you say so, who am I to judge? I mean, today Canon was
The list
like,
of the
look
list
at
of
my
strongest people in the
pride.
exiled lands is probably number one champion, number two Faye, and number two B Cannon. My rankings definitive, and number eight Dardick. Fuck that guy, piece of shit, weakling.
Damn,
Can't
you,
even break a jaw right.
yeah, you can get a hold of yourself. Goddamn. But yeah, for a moment there,
Wow.
I was like RPing and getting like, damn, isn't he going to like halt there? My God. Yeah, more power to you. I mean, Tylo managed to beat Fei Wong 3 times in a row, but
Two.
it's out of character information, so
Twice in a row. In what circumstance?
A complete fuck up that I already knew was a fuck up from the first match because I was not expecting to survive.
How? What was the fight?
Well, first I killed Gothwin in combat, then I killed Suki, then I killed Kara, then I killed Faye twice in a row. Then
just
I
like that.
killed Suki again, and then Kara killed me, and then Faye killed me in about 30 seconds flat, but I survived 30 seconds to my credit. And then I beat Suki to death again with my fist.
Yeah, I've noticed that they're not the best at combat, aside from Faye being really pretty good.
Oh,
And
Kara's pretty
Faye's
decent.
uh, okay. She's eccentric.
With the right weapon, she's decent.
When I fought her with the spear, I don't think she might have hit me twice, maybe. I was at full health by the end of the fight. It was rough.
Yeah.
It was a rough
Uh,
one.
Something did happen with my controller during the fight with Faye. I think I would have lasted another 10 seconds and maybe did a bit more damage.
What did she fight you with? Is what I'm wondering. Did she go all out, or what was she using?
I don't even remember, honestly. The very last fight, though, was her in her full-on gear. But the
Oh,
first two
so the
times
other
she had
two.
reset her stats trying to fix that crafting glitch, and she'd forgotten she'd only buffed her stuff back up to 2 points in encumbrance, and the rest of it was still super low.
Well, yeah,
It's,
that's
that's the only
fine.
reason I beat her the first two times.
When I beat her, she
She was
she
what?
had
Good, 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 good.
You are forbidden from speaking these words.
plus the
Good,
time that I
good,
beat her.
good, good,
Zath has spider webbed your mouth.
good, good, good,
It's the
good, 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 good.
Jesus, Makita, give him a break. God. You relentless bastard. But yeah, the last time that I fought her, she was using her full armor, had all of her skills up and everything. And I don't know what weapon it was. I think she was using that broadsword she's so proud of.
Yep, agility build plus broadsword. I almost killed her with that. It was a good fight.
She was also using the Akabatan throwing knives.
Yo, to use throwing knives when you are with a melee setup is it's the paramount of uh, playing hard, you know. Like not playing hard. What's the
Playing
oh
dirty?
no, not playing dirty. It's like playing full hardcore, you know. Like I mean, chill, dude. I know you know it, but I mean, chill. Yeah, because Faye when she's up to it, my God. Oh, I'm planning here my stats, and lo and behold, this is going to be very, very interesting. Oh, can't wait to. Yes. Ah, the ultimate glass cannon. Damn.
Shitload
Damn.
of bow damage, die from a hit.
Yeah, literally. I mean, yeah, pretty much, but it will be awesome if I manage to keep her at a safe distance and if my companions manage to keep foes away from me for enough time. I mean, it's going to be cripple and then I'll begin headshots. And the headshots will have a 50% plus in damage and another 15% plus in damage. I don't know
I'm
if
not scared.
those will add up, if it'll be 65%, but if it's 15 out of the 150%, oh my, then it would be what?
Weak.
It would be almost 100 damage. Plus
Weak.
the bows and arrows that I'm saving. Damn, imagine quivering arrows with Eye of the Khan, 50 accuracy.
Expensive.
Damn,
All
damn.
that for a drop of blood.
A drop of blood?
Oh.
I mean, if I manage to cripple the guy and get the headshots. Oh, and the knockback as well, because
You
yeah,
underestimate my stamina.
the only thing I can see is people having uh, the perking grit that makes the crippling less harsh, or if their armor is way over the top, you know, because I believe this build would actually give me a leverage in ranged fights. I mean, I would die in 3 hits, maybe 2, you know,
Yeah.
with a
To the right
sword.
opponent.
But Damn, if I manage to get those, yeah, and this is something that I'm thinking about for ranged characters like these. That I mean, I try my best to play Talitha skillfully, but I think maybe initiative roles would be interesting. For example, you have an amount of seconds or at least one attempt to have your shot, like being the sharpshooter she is, she gets to strike first, and then the fight goes on, That only if I manage to get stealthily and with a good initiative roll. Because, yeah, as soon as someone gets within sword range, even pike range, because if she gets uh, uh, imprisoned in a stagger, it's game over.
Over.
So, yeah, I don't know, maybe initiative rolls would be interesting.
Maybe.
She steadies
All that I was trying to
herself.
say, and
Yeah,
I'll just say this. I was using two pieces of legendary light armor, the rest of it being all low grade light armor, against Faye, who had full attribute assignments plus potions for buffs, and I was using the one handed sword, which is not the best PvP weapon against a series of throwing throwing axes and hatchet, plus then she did the agility build two-handed sword, and I beat the hatchet on the second attempt, and then the sword one went all the way down to the wire, and I switched to a pike then, which was, I think, hardened steel. Either way, I was vastly underprepared for those fights, but they were still kick ass. So Faye was good, but I am very proud of my victory because I was the underdog.
hey
Okay.
Tarlo, get a load of this guy.
Something is going on with the spawns.
Great.
So, I've noticed a few things strange since this morning when I played. One, we had two Zamorian NPCs spawn in the middle of town. Instead of over at their camp, it's as if they spawned in at a fucking invisible bonfire here. They were standing around, I thought it was somebody like, oh hey, who's that? Nope.
Yeah, that
And
happened
then
with me as
just,
well.
yeah, and just now there's a few deer wandering right through the middle of town.